CWI Live.
Good morning, everyone. It is 8:39. Welcome back to the program. Lou Seipold, Michelle Brown, Take Care Biz here in studio, being visited by our good friends at Springer Professional Home Services, because this time of year, things get very active if they're not active already.
This time of year, they've been active all summer.
So if it hadn't been active already, they are going to become more and more active, at least around some areas of the city. We're talking about pests.
Yes, we have those pests.
Not this kind. No, we're talking about the ones that actually, you should be wary of because they could hurt you.
Yes.
You could get injured from these animals. We're talking about
give you a good sting.
Wasps and hornets and things like that. And in studio with us right now have a couple of our friends, Mark Manning and Brendan Nading are here. And you folks, thankfully, have taken care of this problem over at my place because they do work at my place. And they have eliminated this.
Wow.
Thank you. Because I was stung, and I was stung pretty bad by the first thing we're going to talk about, Mark, those little yellow jackets.
Yep.
Okay.
Very aggressively defend their nest. So.
And didn't even know the nest was there. And that's the thing, Michelle, is I had no idea there was a nest there. We was on the deck, and it was underneath the flat part on top of the deck, the deck rail. They built the nest in the corner underneath, and we had no idea. So we walked over to use the grill, and we were standing there, and we're leaning up against the deck, and apparently we got close enough, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, you'll find them in the ground. You'll find them in retaining walls. So sometimes they're hard to find unless you're right on top of them, and then you can be in a dangerous situation pretty quick.
And so, what is the easiest thing to do? Because I got stung up and down my arm.
Yeah,
it was not pretty.
When you do find one, you want to avoid that area, and really the best thing to do is call us to take care of it, because it is not an easy situation to deal with.
And it seemed like they kept coming. Once one stung, the whole bunch of other ones, they must have walkie-talkies or something because they communicated and they were there in no time.
Yeah, they'll use pheromones to communicate with each other, and once one stings you, they'll communicate with the rest through pheromones, and the rest will be on you before you know.
Because most people probably they'll go grab a can of spray of some sort, is what you would think. And so we'll talk about why that's not a good idea.
Yeah, well, there's the high number of them, for one, and then the fact that they're in the ground, and the contact sprays, you might get a few of them that are on the outside of the nest, but you won't penetrate down into the nest.
Okay.
And so Brent, how long have you guys been taking care of problems like this?
As far as wasps with the season, wasps have been active here for probably the last month and a half to 2 months, but the yellow jackets are really just starting to get active here the last couple of weeks. And the bald-faced hornets are also starting to get active, which I know we're going to talk about here shortly. But yellow jackets are just starting to become a problem, and they will be a problem all the way into the fall. So.
Okay, so I think one of the first things we need to talk about, the nests and what to look for. And let's take a look here. Now, what do we have here? What are we looking at there?
That's a yellow jacket nest.
Okay.
And again, they're burrowed into the ground. They build those honeycomb-like structures.
Is that like next to a deck area?
Looks like a deck post.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, in the ground, you don't always notice them. If you see a lot of, they're half-inch long. If you see them, a lot of activity in a certain area near a hole, or again in the side of a retaining wall, just avoid that area and give a professional a call.
And how long does it usually take if we did call and say, hey, we have a problem right next to our deck, for example? How quickly can you guys get out there to alleviate that problem?
Well, in a situation like that, we'll try to be out there as soon as possible, either that day or the next day. Get the nest treated, and within a few days, we may have to do a follow-up visit, but within 2 or 3 days, the problem's alleviated.
Go ahead.
As I say, but we were talking about the yellow jacket. We need to talk about why you need to be worried of these, because it seems like they're biting you, but they have those stingers, and they can bury those in you, can't they?
Yeah, and they have you can see a stinger on the end, and they actually have a venom that they inject into you, and some people are very susceptible and allergic to that sting, and again, if you get stung a high number of times, you may need to seek medical attention for that. Some people are very allergic. It can lead to anaphylactic shock.
What's the difference between a wasp and a hornet?
Well, a hornet's a little bit bigger. The hornet is the biggest of the wasp family. You're looking at about 3/4 of an inch for a hornet, versus most wasps you're talking about a 1/2 inch in size.
Okay.
And kind of how they move across the air when they're flying.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
A wasp has almost like a tilt in their abdomen when they fly, kind of almost like it's hanging behind them, versus the yellow jackets and hornets that are more they just shoot through the sky.
Streamline, yeah.
'Cause I think
like they're heavy, yeah.
A lot of what I'm thinking they're wasps, but I think they're hornets.
Yeah,
then.
typically around the average house, if you're talking about what's up in the peaks of your house, you see the little paper nests. You're talking about the paper wasps.
That is, really.
And then, like Mark said, the yellow jackets, a lot of the times you're going to find underground. They can build up in trees and in the sides of houses, railroad ties. But most commonly what you're seeing on the house, those are the paper wasps.
And those don't have as big of a population as
They
like what
certainly
we saw
can,
there.
though.
They can.
Those
They can
paper
too.
wasp nests can, they can get big really quick.
What's the biggest one that you guys had to get rid of?
I've seen one, the size of a basketball.
No way.
Yeah.
What about the ones that are all mud?
Okay, so those are the mud daubers,
Okay.
and they're a black wasp.
Look at the size of that nest.
Okay, that is a bald-faced hornet's nest, and a lot of times you might run across those out in the woods if you're hiking or whatever. If you just
Don't collect it?
no,
And don't take
put
a
it in
stick
your
and hit
nature
it.
bank.
Don't hit the hornet's nest, is what the
Just-
saying goes, yeah?
just
I've learned that
just
the hard
leave it
way.
alone,
Whoa,
avoid it.
wait, time out. You've learned that the hard way?
Yes, I did. There's a story behind that. Me and a buddy were walking through the woods one time, and I was smarter than him, and he threw a stick at a bald-faced hornet nest, and I was 20 yards away and watched him do it, and I pretty much made fun of him for not being able to hit it. So I threw one from about 20 yards away and hit it. Well, they found me. They didn't come after my buddy that was standing right below the nest.
Oh, they saw you.
They can sense where that came from, and they are.
Wow.
I ran for about 1.5 miles.
Did you get nailed? Did
Oh,
they
yeah.
sting you?
Yeah, a couple
How many times?
I only got a couple, but
Okay.
I was in my boxers by the time I got back.
That's,
Oh, my
that's
goodness.
scary if you have a bunch
yeah.
of them coming at you.
Yeah, and they when they come after you too, they're sensing carbon dioxide that you're breathing, so they will come for your face. Which, when you're getting stung with a venomous sting in and around your face, the venom is taken into your system even more quickly. So.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Now, when you treat them, is it a one-time treatment, or is it something you have to kind of come back and continue to
With
do?
the bald-faced hornets, it's if you do it right, it's a one-time treatment. The bald-faced hornets are probably one of the harder ones to deal with, just because they are so aggressive and territorial of their nest. But if you do it right, if you have a bee suit on, you can do it effectively in one shot.
So what are you trying to do to keep them away from your place? Are you using chemicals that they will sense, or are you just giving them not a good opportunity to create a nest?
Well, with the bald-faced hornets and the yellow jackets, it's really kind of a spot application once they show up. And taking care of them. The paper wasps are a different story. We can treat in the areas that they're likely to build, and that's going to deter them from wanting to show up around the house.
Because you can knock them down, and then they just keep adding to it.
Would you call them mud daubers?
Mud daubers, yeah. The black wasps, they build the mud type nests on the side of your house, especially brick and stucco. They're laying their eggs in those, and then they're actually nesting in the ground. If you leave them alone, you're fine. They actually don't sting.
Oh, they
so
don't?
They will be aggressively flying at you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they won't sting.
Okay.
But still,
well,
you
that's
don't.
good to know, because
it's just something
sometimes
you
I
don't
can
wanna
walk
mess
out the back door and there they are.
So a little comfort there.
But,
So
yeah.
Little takeaway comfort-wise from this
little
conversation.
bit.
But again, they are dangerous. We're talking about the yellow jackets and the bald-faced hornets. And again, you mentioned this last couple of weeks, they're really starting to get active.
Yes. The yellow jackets are just starting.
Is there any particular reason for that, or?
A lot of it's weather-based. We had a late spring, and then it's kind of really been a weird year for weather all around. And I'd say last year we're probably 2 or 3 weeks behind when they would normally show up and start being a problem. But it's going to be a problem all the way into
When do
fall.
they normally start to simmer down then in the fall?
When temperatures start cooling off. Most of the workers in the nest will actually die off, and the queen will survive. She'll overwinter underneath the bark of a tree or in the ground. Next spring she'll lay eggs,
And we're at it again.
Yep, here we go all over again.
Okay.
All right. So
Good information.
we need to get this taken care of. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you guys if we do discover a problem like this?
Yep, give us a call. 515-262-9229 is our phone number. TrustSpringer.com is our website.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that
TrustSpringer.com. He's looking right at you, Mark.
And it sounds like you guys will move very quickly to get out
need be.
and remedy
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
situation for somebody.
Again, it can be dangerous at best, or in a painful situation indeed. So
Yeah, don't take any chances.
no, give us a call. We'll be out there right
It's
away.
not worth it. Brendan, thank you very much, man.
You bet.
Appreciate it so much.
Pleasure.
Again, don't get stung. Give these guys a call, and they'll take care of it. It is 10 minutes.